Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Hi, Elaine. I like your setup. You're muted.
Good, good. Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great, great. Yeah,
Perfect.
we're in the living room today, so I played with the frame a little bit.
Yes, nice. Welcome to Multimedia Magicians Toastmasters Club. My name is Abhijit. Before we proceed, I encourage everyone to turn on your videos. Let me introduce our president, Pooja Joshi. Pooja, it's all you.
Thank you, Abhijit, and a very warm welcome to each of you. We will be starting with our club elections for the upcoming term and go through that before we move to the speeches. So I will now accept a motion to nominate officers for the next term.
Toastmasters bylaws requires that there be a secret ballot for elections unless the group votes to dispense with secret ballots for uncontested offices. I motion we dispense with a secret ballot for uncontested offices.
Second.
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 Any discussion in support of the motion, that is dispensing with the secret ballot for each office that is not contested, signify by saying aye. All opposed, say nay. Hearing no noise, I declare that the motion has passed unanimously. The nominating committee has talked with members and put together this slate of candidates for the July to December term. Wait a minute. I need to show a slide now.
I sent you a link in the chat.
Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to turn the screen off now so that I can read the script. Sorry, I seem to have lost the window where I was reading. Sorry about that. Okay. So, does anyone have additional nominations for any of these offices?
I nominate Nora for the post of secretary.
Okay, what were the office? I don't see the office list anymore. Can you put it in the chat maybe if you can't share the screen?
Yes.
Since you're asking for more nominations. Thanks.
I will just paste the text into our chat. So, Abhijit, you mentioned Nora.
Yes.
What should be the next step now?
So if she accepts,
Okay.
Nora, do you accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination.
Thank you so much, Nora.
All right. Are there any others? If not, the motion to close the nomination is in order.
I move to close the nomination and cast a ballot for the slate of nominees. But before I do that, we need a VPM. Elaine, are you interested in the role of VPM, Vice President of Membership?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I'm very interested in SAA.
Okay. Thank you so much, Elaine. I move to close the nomination and cast a ballot for the slate of nominees.
Second.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All in support of the motion to cast a ballot for the slate of nominees signify by saying aye. All opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I heard no nays and I declare that the motion has passed unanimously. Pooja Joshi is elected to the office of President. Kenneth Lakeshman is elected to the office of Vice President of Education. Vice President of Membership is open. Namita Nandakumar is elected to the office of Vice President of Public Relations. Nora Jackson is elected to the office of Secretary. Abhijit Joshi is elected to the office of Treasurer. And Elaine Lung is elected to the office of Sergeant at Arms. That concludes our round of elections. Let's have a round of applause for everyone present and our new officers. I will now hand over to our Toastmaster for the day. Linda, all yours.
Hello, everyone. Our fellow Toastmaster member and our guest, welcome to join Multiple Media Machines Toastmaster Club today. I'm honored and pleased to take the honor as the Toastmaster of the day. Now, let me introduce our today's concept. Our timer today is Nora Jackson. Lighty will be the Kenzie lection. Our first speaker will be the Tonya Eden. Is going to educate us about video editing in the speech title, which is Video Editing with Canva. Her speech about 25 and 30 minutes. After round-robin evaluation about a speech about 4 and 6 minutes, we will see the time and welcome to our second speech, Abhijit Joshi. And he will share us a research, the speech. The title is Secrets of Famous Speakers. After our evaluation running around 4 and 5 minutes, and our member is the Chair Kawa Hari for the general evaluation, we will be guest welcome for more discussion. And finally, we will discussion for the next meeting. Now, let's welcome our first speaker, Tonya Eden, for video editing with Canva. Tonya Eden, welcome.
Linda, start with Kenneth as lightning slides.
Oh, got it. Yeah, let's welcome the slide selecting. Yes, for the cancer lecture.
Thank you, Linda. So I'm going to go ahead and seal the screen share here. And we're going to do a fun lightning slide activity. All right, can everybody see my screen? Looks like I got a couple thumbs up. Cool.
Yes.
So here are the rules. We are going to be getting some wisdom from our team, from a combination of the members of our club, our guests, as well as from fortune cookies. Many times people look for wisdom and answer at the end of their Chinese dinner. The only rule for tonight's meeting is answer what your heart prompts you. When you see the response, you have 30 seconds on the clock and go with it in any direction that you see fit. I will be calling on folks, prioritizing guests. If you have your camera on, you are subject to being called on. Those are the rules. So without further ado, I would like to have us get started. My first one is going to be, you learn from your mistakes, and you will learn a lot today. Elaine.
Kenneth, we cannot see the right screen.
Oh, you can. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong one. Oh, I'm so sorry.
In your Bing window.
I am so sorry.
But I can go with this. I don't need a slide for this.
Let's see here. What is going on? Oh, my thing got all reordered and I didn't even know.
All right,
You're
gonna learn
fortune
from
cookie.
your mistakes. Oh yeah, this is an improv principle, and it is huge because so many people are afraid to just try something. But you know, the purpose of life is to act, and to act, not to understand and try figure it all out and then do something, but to act and learn as you go along. So the best thing, my best advice, and in improv we call it failing forward. It's learn by doing, because most of the time what you think is such a horrible failure is not. Look at it as something you've learned. Failure is education.
I love that direction. Okay. Next, we have keep true to the dreams of your youth. I would like to call on Fred. Fred, why don't you tell us about this fortune?
Well, it's got some numbers I'm familiar with. That's good. And keep true to the dreams of your youth. I think we all will wish we were back in our youth again and can do a lot of the same things. But you know what? I'm over 50 years old and I can dance like I'm 15. So I can keep true to that. I can cut a rug with the best of them. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Kenneth.
Thanks, Fred. A great pleasure in life is doing what others say you can't. Alita, could I call on you?
Yes, Mr. Lightning Slider. People who know me have learned to never say you can't do something, because I will find a way and learn to do it. Since I've been on my own for the last 8 years, I have turned to Google and YouTube to learn how to do many, many, many things to maintain my own home. Don't ever say you can't. There's always a way. Thank you.
Never compare yourself to the best others can do, but the best you can do. Megan, can I have you take this one?
Sure. Thank you, Kenneth. Never compare yourself to the best others can do, but to the best you can do. Well, yeah, I pretty much fall short when compared to the best anybody else can do. So my own personal best is the best measure for my own growth and success. I know that, I own that, I embrace that. And that's really what we all should do. Never mind the turkeys, never mind the eagles, just focus on what we can do best. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Be assertive and you will win. Dee Dee, can you tell us about this fortune cookie? You're on mute, Dee Dee.
Thank you, Kenneth. Be assertive to me is equal to never give up. So we always say, if you want to succeed, you have to keep trying, never give up. So there is famous saying by Roosevelt. He would say, never give up. Never give up. So be assertive, then you will win.
I love that. You make me think of one of my favorite movies, Galaxy Quest, where the line was never give up, never surrender. Sometimes the answer you need is that you don't need an answer. Malcolm.
Yes, hello. the answer that you need. Well, don't know if I understand this one. The answer that I need is the answer that I need. So I'm not really sure why I wouldn't need an answer. Sorry, I've got an allergy. Why I wouldn't need an answer. I think I always need an answer. Sorry, I don't know how to answer this one.
Oh, thanks for trying all the same. Whatever will be, will be. Let it be. Josue, I think I'm saying that right. Would you want to give us a go? I apologize if I did not say your name correctly. H-S-U-E-A-E-H. Sway.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kenneth. I think that is a good topic. Whatever will be, let it be. For my understanding for this quote, yeah, actually in our daily life, we encounter there are so many external situations beyond our control. So from my experience, I think the most important whenever I face, no matter whatever the situation, I just brave to face it and just keep the right here and the right now. I do it to my best and don't put too much what result, if it's success or not. I think it's don't to put so much concern about it. I just try my best to do it whenever the situation I encounter. So whatever will be, just let it be. Let it be, it means I still have to put myself, strive to make everything good. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And our final option for the night, life is a dance floor and you are the DJ. Namita, why don't you tell us about this one?
Well, life is definitely not a dance floor because all days are not happy. All days you don't feel like dancing. But you definitely are the DJ because you have the control of what you're doing. And somewhat you can control what is happening in your life. Not always it is possible. What I found out is that going with the flow is more easier than controlling everything. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Namita. That concludes our lightning round for the night. Thank you for all of our participants. And I will turn it back to you over to Toastmaster Linda.
Thank you, Kenneth. It's so wonderful. It's the lighting slide, as mentioned for Chinese, the fortune tips and some secret for the life and for to everything. Now it's turn for our first speaker. Welcome to our first speaker, Tonya Eden. Her speech is Video Editing with Canva. Tonya Eden, welcome.
Thank you, Linda. And I could have easily taken Elaine's question because I have fully embraced that we can learn from mistakes and we learn more from mistakes. And this is my second speech in this club, and I'm going to be doing some things as a result of what I learned from my first presentation. And during the feedback portion, I was told that I should start with why. So we're going to learn about basic video editing techniques using Canva. So I want to take a poll here. Raise your hand if you've ever used Canva. So that's a high number of people, and that is why it's a good place to learn basic video editing. Because if you know how to make a flyer, or if you've ever used it for any other reason, you're already more than halfway there. And I want to encourage you before I start sharing my screen, I am self-taught. And I learned it as a result of being challenged by a fellow Bayview Toastmaster. And so if I'm self-taught, you can be self-taught. And so I'm going to share my screen now. And we're going to go through 3 steps. We're going to upload a raw video. And a raw video is a term that simply means we're going to share a video that hasn't had any editing on it yet. and we're going to add text to our video, and then we're going to add sound. And that's all you need to create a video. And so I'm here on the Canva home screen. And before we get started, I'm going to show you, if you look at the home screen here under education and scroll down, you will find that you can learn so many things here. And I encourage you to use this often, because you can also learn a lot about video editing. They have 14 video tutorials. So Canva makes it easy for you to get started learning on your own. Now, without further delay, I'm going to hit the video that you see clicked here. And this is, I'm going to check on something real quick to make sure it's signed into my account. Okay. All right, so I'm going to click on video. And the first thing we are going to do is take a look at, familiarize yourself with the screen here. This purple square here is your canvas that you're going to be using. And if you've created a flyer, it looks familiar. And off to the left over here, you see all of the steps that you can take: templates, elements, uploads, text, photos, and audio. What we're going to start with is uploading a video. So I'm going to click uploads. And you can, this purple button here, upload media, if you go off to the side here, the 3 buttons, you'll find that you can upload from Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, and Dropbox. So they make it super convenient. You don't even have to download to your hard drive to start editing a video anymore. But since, in the interest of time, I've already uploaded the video that I need. And so I'm going to select it. You see the white hand here with the finger pointing, and you drag it over. Sometimes it takes a couple of drags. And now you see the video starts to play immediately, but I'm going to hit pause and size the video so that it takes up all of the white canvas. And that's the first step. We've uploaded our video. That's all you need to do. And now what I'm going to do is show you how to clip the video really quickly as soon as I get the bottom. There you go. And I interviewed someone, it's a Toastmaster testimonial, and I don't want to be in the video. I don't need to be in the video. So I'm going to show you how to clip a video. So I'm going to take an educated guess of where I'm going to watch myself talking. And as soon as I stop talking, I'm going to stop the hand. I think I'm still talking. Still talking. Okay. I think right about here. I'm going to see if I guessed right. Well. Okay, I guessed correctly. So now I'm going to back it up a little. And now you're going to see, I'm going to use this arrow thing to get this out of the way. Now, you see the black arrow is still there. I'm going to go to the front of the video, and you see the line is horizontal now with 2 arrows. I'm going to drag the video down to the black arrow here. And now simply need to double check and make sure I cut it in the right place. Yes, I did. So now we've just clipped our video. Now what I want to do is we're going to try adding text. Let me start from here and let's see. Go over to text on the left, and we're going to give Bastion a name. So click text, add subheading, because the subheading will be small enough for me to see, but large enough for you to see, but small enough to be out of the way. And I'll give him a name. And while I'm doing that, his name is set, but let's see. I usually like to make it bold. There you go. That looks a little bit better. So now we've added text to our video, and that was one of our goals. And so now the last thing that we want to do is I'm going to show you how to add some style to it. Go over to templates at the top here. And I chose this video editing. This video, because it moves. I like it. I like that it moves. And so as you familiarize yourself with Canva, you'll see that you can actually use things. When I first started, I wouldn't have known that I could use this because it has a video in it, and I don't want a video, but you can experiment. So I'm going to add a page, and the plus button at the end. And so now you see a blank canvas, and I like this style here. And if you saw the video that we shared at the beginning, it looks familiar to you, but I don't want the video. So I'm going to hit delete twice to get rid of it. And I think I deleted it. The undo button will save me here. So let's get back over here and I'll show you I want to make this Toastmaster colors. So I'm going to edit this as quickly as I can. And my video came back. We want it. And get rid of these designs because they're kind of busy. And then I want to make this Toastmaster blue. And now it looks more like, now it looks like a video. So I'm going to call it Toastmaster Testimonials. And it's going to be with Bastian Reimut. Now, I don't need it at the end, I need it at the beginning. So I take the white hand and move it to the front. And now we check that we did it. Check our work. And we see that it's at the front. And so that's fun. Now it looks like it's starting to look like a real video. And instead of stopping to look at it, I always like to stop to look at it. But what I'm going to do now, in the interest of time, is I'm going to add audio. And so when you want to add audio, you look off to the left. This is where all the fun stuff is. You have elements, uploads, text, photos, and audio. Audio is what I want to do here. However, I didn't like any of these songs, and I would probably blast you out of the room. Let's see, should I try it? I'm going to play a song. They're pretty loud. So you get an idea of the type of music. So what I do is I like to save my own favorite music. And so I go to uploads. I've uploaded them already. I like these and I've used them over and over because they work. And so I like solutions that work for testimonials. So you see the white hand? I can drag it over and I'm going to put it underneath the video. Yay. Now you have added audio to your video, but I know from experience that it's going to be a little loud here. So I'm going to have to turn the volume down. So let's see, okay, so now let's take a look at, here's the volume. Let's take a look at what we have so far, and then we'll go into the question and answer session, because what we have learned is all you need to know to create a video. Oh, I think I'm going to add a transition here. You see the plus sign here? If you hit the plus sign, you can add a transition and look at everything that's available. And I'm hitting circle wipe, line wipe. And so I like the circle one. So we'll add that. And now we can play it briefly, and then I'll come out for some questions. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share now and get ready for some questions. Who has the first question? I
Sonia,
think
you can see people with their raised hands.
between Arnie and Megan, I think I'll go with Arnie.
Thank you, Ms. Easton. Thank you. A great presentation. How do you download any work of art into the video, and how would you edit the background in terms of coloring, in terms of highlighting, and so forth?
Okay, your question is, how do you edit the background? Okay, I'm gonna hold that and we can go back. I can save that. I can do another demonstration based on what other people are asking. So you want to change the color and the background? So I'll write that down and we'll go to Megan's next. Megan and then Elaine.
My question is, do you pay for your Canva account? What type of account do you have?
Oh, that's a good question. I pay for my own Canva account, but Canva offers a free account to nonprofits. And this is something that we have to figure out. The previous PRM, which is the public relations manager, applied for one for the district, but other clubs that have applied for it have had trouble recently. But they do offer a free Canva account for nonprofits. So that's an excellent question, Megan, and it's something that we need to figure out the exact steps of how to get it done. So thanks for bringing that up. And that's an ongoing issue that when we solve it, we'll announce it to everyone. And Elaine.
Hey, the music has to be in the public domain. Do they give you a nice selection on the tool?
I feel like it's a little eclectic. I don't like the selections of music that they have for Canva. It might be because it doesn't suit my taste, but it's not business-like enough for me. They don't give us a good selection, but I've found a couple of places that give good free music, and I shared that in a PDF. It will be going out to you tonight. I shared resources for video clippers and free video that has a lot of variety, even sound effects. And it's an excellent resource. I don't have it memorized, but I sent it over to Abhijit, and it will be going out to all of the attendees tonight. So thanks for the question, Elaine. Fred.
Yes. From a branding perspective, I know you were talking about using the Toastmasters colors, but I know you didn't use the Toastmaster required fonts. So shouldn't things be consistent? If you're going to use the colors, shouldn't you also use the required text like Montserrat or Gotham?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you can, in Canva, you can set it up to have it automatically default to that, and it can save you time. And that's probably what I should have done before doing a presentation, is to have the Toastmaster branded fonts pre-selected. So good point, good catch, Fred. Okay, is that it? Will that do it for questions?
There's one more. You mentioned nonprofit. Is Toastmasters defined as nonprofit?
Yes, it is. And there, a couple of years ago, we were able to secure free nonprofit accounts. And for some reason, there's a glitch this year.
Okay, thank you.
So I've never done it before, so we'll have to figure that out, Megan. Are there any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, Tonya, I have a question. A few weeks back, you showed us in video, I believe that was the name, and correct me if I'm using, that was not the name, but in video, and today you showed us Canva. How do you compare the two, and what are your thoughts on your preferences?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when I did my first presentation, it was on InVideo, and that has a really slick interface and it's fast moving, but I felt like I went too fast, and that was for someone who already knows and has done video editing before. So I scaled it back, and Canva is perfect for beginners, and it's easy to use. And so that was why I wanted to come back and try it with Canva. And InVideo is all ready to go, but it kind of expects you to know what you're talking about. And it's also a little bit glitchy sometimes. And Canva is basic and fun and easy. So I still like both. I'm still going to use both. But for
Okay, thank you.
beginners, I suggest Canva. Did we have time for one more question? Okay, I'm sorry how to pronounce your name, Namita?
That's fine, it's Namita.
Namita.
So I was going to ask, how do you edit the colors in the brand kit?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How do you add or delete colors and the fonts in the brand kit?
Okay, I think I'll share my screen because I remember Arnie had a similar question. So I'll go back to that and see if I can. So for Arnie, you wanted to know how to design. What you can do here is I'll go to the end and I'll add another page. And Arnie, you can design here by selecting different templates, but you can even just do a blank template and you can come down here and add a background. And so here's the Northern Lights. You can do that. And there's textures. So if you want to add texture, you can add a texture to it instead. And so you can do all kinds of things here to add a design. And then you have you can add photos. And with texting as well, you have different fonts that you can use if you're like this one.
Wow.
It doesn't look very good on this background, but it shows you what it's capable of. So did I answer both of your questions before well, I can't see you. Did I answer your question?
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you, man. Powerful.
Okay, so there's no more questions. I just want to say that I encourage you all to just get in there. You learn best by doing. And so you have an idea of what it's like. And now it's just time to just go ahead and get started and don't be afraid of making mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. You gave us a very educated and wonderful presentation for the video editing with Canva. So more is standard for the function of the Canva for the video editing. Thank you so much for your favors, the and the speech. Thank you, Tanya. So right now we have moved to the round robin for our evaluation. So which one will be the first volunteer? Megan, right? Thank you, Megan. Welcome.
Thank you, Toastmaster Linda. Tanya, thank you for that speech. So I loved how you walked us through the editing. It was really quick and very smooth. That made it helpful for us. Your pace of voice and what you were doing actually on the screen was just right, both of them. There was one area where you could increase your search time, and that was or two areas. One was to be logged in before, and then the other was looking in advance, like you did for all the other areas, looking to see how many minutes into the video you wanted to be before you stopped talking. Not to just zip to that exact spot, but just so that you didn't have to spend a whole lot of time searching. That was all I could find to recommend. This was really useful and super helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Megan. Awesome. Yeah, we also learned a lot of the developers, the convents, right? So have you any answer? Anywhere else? Yeah, we have the round robin for the evaluation for everyone we can discuss and we can talk about. How about our Which one? Fred, I'd love to hear your opinion. Thank you.
Yes, on Canva, I've used it for some video editing as well, but maybe Tanya, you could have maybe said something about if there's limitations even with the paid version versus the free version using paid, something like Adobe Premiere Pro, or maybe say how Canva's a lot easier to use. Because when I hear editing, I'm thinking more than just text and things of that nature. I'm thinking fixing sound, things of that nature. So, you know, are there limitations on using Canva versus using, say, Adobe Premiere Pro?
Okay, thank you, Fred. So right now my sound is good. Okay, thank you. So for me, I also learn a lot from the Tanya's Canva. For me, but before I always use the poster or flyer, but right now I'm more function and a lot of skill on the Canva, the editing for the video. Thank you, Tanya. So now we have moved to the second speech. Welcome to the second speech.
Dennis has feedback. Go ahead, Dennis.
Oh yeah, Dennis, your feedback
Oh,
coming. Welcome.
just a quick thing, and this is sort of a general comment because we're going to see a lot of presentations like this in this particular club. Always keep in mind that some of the people in your audience are very old and not quite as sharp as everyone else in the planet. So it's really helpful for someone like me if you say there are 4 steps to editing a video. Step 1, import the video. Then you import the video and you say that completes the import video step. The second thing we're going to do is add music or whatever it's going to be. As you continued, you were doing it, but I wasn't sure what you were doing next or why you were doing certain things. For the end of your presentation, you were more clear as you started, and then as you went along, you were sort of finding extra pieces, and you could do this, you could do that. So be careful not to talk about things you're not going to show us. Just show us the things you're going to show us, and be sure at the end of every step you say that step is complete. So again, that's feedback for you, Tanya, but it's also feedback in general for this sort of presentation as we see them here at the Multimedia Magician.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, you for the suggestion. Yeah, we need it also slowly and very clear. And actually, the Tanya stood very good briefly, right? Thank you, everyone. So right now we have moved to the second speech object, right? Are you ready? Yeah. Welcome to our second speakers, Object Josh. His the speak title is Secrets of Famous Speakers. Let's welcome Ajib Josh.
It was May of 2020. I wrote a script and shared with my friend Sarah. She reviewed my script, and the first thing she said, "It sounds like an essay." Essay? I thought I wrote the most perfect script. She added, "It needs to be more conversational." Conversational? I didn't understand what she meant. As I started researching on Google, I came across a couple of articles. One by Lisa Marshall. She shared secrets about how to make your speech more conversational. And another by an American author, Richard Green, who was sharing the 5 secrets of famous speakers. Today, I'm going to spend my time on sharing the secrets of how to make your speech more conversational. When I was writing my scripts, my essays, my sentences were so long that when I came to the end of my sentence, I would forget what I was talking about. Really, Lisa said that I need to be using smaller sentences. When I started using smaller sentences, it was easier for me to memorize. But the second big impact I had was the audience was able to follow me with each and every word. The second thing which Lisa said is to use contractions. Contractions. It didn't register on my brain what exactly are contractions. I did a Google search and immediately realized, oh, didn't is a contraction for did not. Isn't is a contraction for is not. The more contractions we use, the more we sound conversational. I started listening to my fellow Toastmasters. One day in my meeting, I was paying close attention to my fellow Toastmaster Ashutosh. As I was listening in, I realized he was using a lot of contractions in the way he was speaking. From that time onwards, I made a point that whenever I'm writing a speech, I would use a lot of contractions to sound more conversational. As I was moving forward, the third secret was something which I learned the hard way. In October of 2020, I was working on a humorous speech, Smell of Life. In my speech, I had this one word. I could not pronounce it. I even had an accent coach who worked with me on that word. The word was cardiologist. I practiced it many times, but still, whenever I say that in my speech, the audience would not understand what I was saying. At the end of the speech, they would ask me, what did I say? Finally, I decided to change that word from cardiologist to a heart doctor so that the audience can understand each and every word I am saying. This brings us down to the fourth secret. This was something actually I did not know about. That is a rhetorical question. It can be used in the starting of the speech. It can be used even in the ending of the speech. When you ask a rhetorical question, who really discovered America? Here, I am not trying to get an answer. I'm trying to introduce a topic. Or in another case, what's not to like about this conversational style secrets? Here, I'm trying to make a point, not get an answer. So the more I learned about rhetorical questions, the more I got fascinated by those. Because I can use them to draw the audience's attention and make my point. And finally, the most important secret is to share my emotions. The more I share my inner dialogue or my struggles, the voice in my head, it creates that connection with the audience. So I learned from that is I'm going to share more emotions so that we can be connected to the audience and we can sound more conversational. As I started reviewing these secrets, I realized they have a purpose. And I started using smaller sentences, easier for me to memorize it and easier for the audience to follow. When I started using contractions, it made it easier for me to memorize it and also sound more conversational. The easy to pronounce words were a lifesaver because I didn't have to use complicated words. And when I used easier words, the audience knew what exactly I was talking about. Rhetorical questions help me to use those at the opening or at the closing to make the point. And finally, when I started sharing my emotions or inner dialogue, it made that connection with the audience. I try to follow this in each and every of my speech. I encourage you to try these 5 secrets of conversational style. What's not to like about these 5 secrets? Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ajibet, for your very passionable is the speech for the secrets of conversation style and 5 secret tips. So wonderful and amazing, right? So right now we have moved to the rounding innovation for every our the guest and our members. So let's move forward. Which one will be the evaluation and for the second speech? Okay, Tanya, welcome.
I really loved your speech and the pointers that you gave. It was very clearly presented. What I think might have been missing is what's in it for the audience. You talked about what was in it for you and how it helped you memorize and how it helped you sound more conversational. But why does that matter? I think it builds a connection between you and the audience. And so sharing that would probably have helped. But overall, a great speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. That's wonderful. Connection. All yes, communication is by connection. Exactly. It's good point. Thank you, Tanya. So the second one, who is have to give more the evaluation for our speaker. Anyone else? Hey, Anne-Marie, right? Welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Hi, Mr. Josia. You said your speech should be conversational. Does that mean that the speech should be a conversation? Point number one. Point number two. Short sentences, short words. How short should they be? One word, two words, fragments. Point number two. Point number three. How do you emotionalize your speech?
The first thing, shorter sentences means around 10 words is a good start. It depends upon what's needed, but not too long, like 20 words. It's too big for the audience to stay connected with what you are saying. The second question was, how do I share my emotions? The one thing I had to do was understand the vocabulary of my emotions, like what I'm feeling at that moment. I tried to verbalize it, and that helped me to convey what my emotions I'm feeling in that moment.
Let me go back to short sentences. Have you read the speech of Joe Biden inaugural speech? He used one word, two words, and sometimes fragments. I don't know if that's the concept of being simple, readable, easy to understand, easy to remember.
I don't try to use fragments. I try to use complete sentences.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you notice, Boris Johnson, Margaret Thatcher, David Cameron, the speeches, 30% of their sentences in their speeches begins with conjunction and but. Is that something acceptable to you?
I have not thought about it, so maybe I have to think about it, and then I can answer that, Ernie.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, Eileen. Eileen, right? I saw you have the hand raised.
It's Elaine.
Yeah,
Yes.
Eileen, yeah. Welcome,
Elaine. Elaine. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
welcome.
Abby. I just was thinking, the first 2 points you said, hey, I need to do shorter sentences. It has more impact. And then the second point was I use contractions because they sound more conversational. And it would be, I thought if you could just give a little example of each, I think it would strengthen your point, because you repeated it. You stated the premise, you said what you did, and you repeated it again. And I thought maybe instead of repeating it, you could just do a little example of each to just give us a picture of how it helped you. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, Eileen. So right now we also have several minutes. We can talk about a lot, and we can one more elevation for our Robin. So who is next one? Okay, Project Judge.
Thank you, Linda. It's Pooja. Abhijit, I want to thank you for bringing this speech to multimedia magicians, because in the past we've had speeches which gave a lot of educational content and we learned how to do so much. But this speech was an example of how you can, in a regular speech, use your multimedia that you're using every single day, which is Zoom, how to be in the frame, how to be well lit, positioned in a way that your body language is visible. And this is also multimedia. So without having to do a lot of software magic, I thought this speech was perfectly suited for our club. So thank you for bringing this flavor back, the original Toastmasters flavor back to our Multimedia Magicians group. And I hope to see more of these speeches here. Thank you. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Project. Yeah, thank you, our second speech. So yeah, okay, we have the general evaluation for our Chi Kawa Hari. Okay.
Thank you, Linda. Good evening, everyone. I would like to share 2 observations that were done well and 2 observations that could help make our club even better. So, observation number 1, Pooja, congratulations for running a successful election. I am so glad that we have a new group of officers that's going to shape our club, and that was done well. Observation number 2, Kenneth. Wow, I loved how you demonstrated the recovery from the mistake of having the wrong screen up. And as Elaine said, it's all about improv and rolling with it. You demonstrated that very well. And again, what you validated for us is that this is a safe space for us to try things. And if it doesn't work, we learn from it and move on. So thank you for that. 2 things that could make our meetings run a little bit better. Number 1, I am one of those. I have an unusual name that is difficult to pronounce. My name is pronounced Chie. There's Pooja, Abhijit, there's Namita. There are very challenging names to pronounce in this club. So if you are unsure, ask. And if you are in a role where you are introducing other people, you can take extra 10 seconds and ask the person before the meeting so that you have the pronunciation just so. It will show respect. And the second thing that could make our club a little bit better is for the Toastmaster to just briefly recap the purpose and the objective of the project. So we had 2 speakers this morning. Tonya was doing the level 4 question and answer session. And even if it's listed on the agenda, when you introduce her, if you said, the purpose of a project is for her to learn about the practice facilitating a question and answer session, then we would have that thought in our mind as we listen to her speech. So in addition to all of the glamorous things that she's showing us and we're mesmerized by it, what we should be thinking about is how she's handling the Q&A session, which is the purpose of her project. Same with Abhijit's project. His project was to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized speech, which he did. So help us listen to the speech better by doing the introduction so that you can frame it to help the rest of the members. And now I would like to turn it over back to our Toastmaster, Linda.
Thank you, Chuck. You are very nice to the observation and suggestion for our club. Well done. So right now we return back to our president, Project Bullshit. Project Josh.
Thank you so much, Linda. Well, we are already at time, but before we wrap up, I would like to thank Chie because we have been doing so many things as a club and trying to get better every single time. And Chie has been giving us astute observations. She is our club mentor along with me. But Chie, your observations, your feedback has helped this club immensely, including the elections that we held today. So can we please have a round of applause for Chie and all of the excellent work that she's putting in to help this club get better. With that, I will call it a day, call it a meeting, wrap up, officially adjourn. But as always, we are here to chat, chit chat, get to know each other.